Army veteran, Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and co-founder of Restored Liberty, Colonel Darin. Gaub, thanks for joining us again. Thanks for coming back.
Hey, thanks, Andrew. Great to be here.
We are not getting any balance or actually any honesty out of the January 6th committee hearings. You know, they are editing video. We saw Jason Miller, the CEO of Getter, saying, wait. You guys are taking me way out of context. We saw Liz Cheney read a tweet that was supposed to be the smoking gun of Donald Trump's encouragement of the mob. She left out the last and most important line, where Trump said, "Go home with peace and love and remember this day forever." This is a sham, actually.
I'll just do this.
Well, I agree. It's a complete sham. In fact, it's not about truth at all. It's about Trump and Trump supporters and people who vote conservative more than anything else. Even if you took Trump out of this picture, they'd find a reason to use something like this to come after people like you and me. And so I think we need to make sure that we know what we're really seeing here is a Hollywood production scripted in order to try to convince the 0.004% of the population even paying attention to it that they shouldn't vote for Trump in 2024 should he choose to run. So we're not about truth here at all. We're after a certain person.
But I don't understand how, in a constitutional republic, we could have a committee that would all but criminalize things that were not criminal. And I even saw that my own representative, Mikey Sherrill, in New Jersey's 11th District, has now accused Representative Barry Loudermilk of Georgia of leading a reconnaissance mission. Now, the Capitol Police, they came out and said, we've seen these videos. It was innocuous. He was bringing constituents around. And they say, but they say, well, one of the men that was in the tour group was actually on the ellipse. Well, being on the ellipse and breaking into the Capitol are two different things. It's not illegal to be at a First Amendment protected rally in Washington, D.C. Yes, breaking down police barricades, illegal. Fighting with cops, illegal. Breaking windows, illegal. Stealing laptops and lecterns, illegal. Being on the ellipse when that all happens, having nothing to do with it, not illegal.
No, not at all. And all of this goes back to the idea that if this was a courtroom, you're basically showing up with a judge and a prosecutor and no defense, and the judge is okay with it. Clearly, Trump is on trial. In many cases, you and I and the people like us are on trial. But yes, Washington, D.C. is our property. It's our capital, and we can be there. Everything you listed, that's illegal. Yes, we know that. But yeah, First Amendment's right, the right to assemble and address grievances and be part of a rally. There's nothing criminal about that anywhere.
And you know what, to be fair, look, and I took some heat from it, during the Black Lives Matter Antifa George Floyd riots, when there were people who said, look, we came here to protest how we feel the police are treating us, and agitators show up. You know, I was willing to give some of these people the benefit of the doubt because they have the right to do it. If you live in a city where you feel the police are being heavy-handed or unfair or even racist, even if I disagree with your argument that the police are being heavy-handed or I think your examples are not exactly, accurate, it doesn't really matter. You have the right as an American citizen to stand in the public square and speak your mind. You also have the right to be separated from people who might show up and commit crimes. Just because you're there speaking and somebody else throws a brick through a window, that doesn't make you liable for it. And that's what we're doing here. We're treating law-abiding American citizens as if they committed a crime for simply showing up and something bad happened.
Yeah, it's the innocent bystander defense, and it's absolutely rock solid. Just because I was there doesn't mean I did anything. Now, I live in Montana on the west side, and people all over western Montana that went into the D.C. area, all of them got visited by the FBI, and it's the singular most substantial effort I've seen the FBI put towards pursuing any kind of criminal act in a long time. People out in the middle of Ravalli County, it's almost impossible to find, got FBI visits, and it's pretty sad.
You know, look, if they were looking for people who may have information, who may have coordinated something, I get it. But Senator Mike Lee asked the question, I believe it was last year, were you using geolocation technology? Because how did you know some of these people were there? They're not on video. They weren't arrested in the Capitol. They didn't go into the building. They just might have been somewhere in the vicinity, and you knew exactly who they were and where they were. Now, again, if they're not being accused of a crime or under or the subject of any investigation, why is the FBI going out, fanning out to find all these people?
Well, yeah, I agree with you 100% that it's good investigation means sometimes talking to people that you have no intention of trying to charge with anything. You're trying to see what they saw or maybe could be a witness too.
Yeah, right. We want the FBI doing that, right? We want to help. If there was a crime committed and we were there, we might be able to help in the arrest of somebody who broke the law. We want to do that as law-abiding American citizens.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to see the entire investigation behind what caused Ashley Babbitt to get shot. Yeah. And if she caused it herself somehow, then so be it. But if she didn't cause it and then something else is there that caused that, then we should know that as well, because it's all part of this entire larger narrative where it seems like the entire aim of this thing is to try to charge somebody with guilt in absentia, despite the fact that there's no defense there in the first place. In many cases, that's us, the American people, that they're willing to label in a lot of different ways, as they've done. They've called us racists, insurrectionists, and anything just because we're conservative folks who love our Constitution. I wish the January 6th Commission was thorough in their investigation from start to end and pursuing truth. It's clear they're not doing that, and I think at the most people watching this was about 16,000 folks. So people are really watching it anyways because they know the conclusion was formed before it started.
And some people have a funny way of being more affected by gas prices, baby formula shortages, inflation, and the lack of feminine hygiene products, right? I mean, crazy, selfish Americans. I got to leave it there, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right, coming up.